government has decided, as pledged, to review these taxes to provide relief for businesses. The following specific measures shall be implemented in the short to medium term. With this budget, abolish the 1% special import levy. Abolish the 17.5% VAT on financial services. Abolish the 17.5% VAT on selected imported medicines that are not produced locally.
Tax reductions, we heard them, but they are not being implemented. I'm sure you can take your cameras to Aboso Kai, one of the areas that was mentioned directly by the finance minister when he was going to speak about that, and go and ask the Aboso Kai people whether they have had any tax cut for their imports of their spare parts. Indeed, they have now reclassified what is even a spare part. Things that used to be known as spare parts, today they've decided to deceive them that, oh, these are not spare parts. And that even when we say spare parts, this is what we mean. They have, in their budget statement, policy statement, announced the cutting of some taxes that they really do not have that authority to cut it as they plan to do, because these are ECOWAS tariffs. And so these are not fixed by Ghana alone. It is the member countries that have come together to fix that uniform tariff that run through all these countries. So you can't go to your home parliament and go and say, I have taken this off. It tells you that this government is very incompetent. Their level of incompetence is legendary.
Sometimes it's interesting when you hear our critics in one breath say one thing, and then when you correct it, then they try to change the goalpost. A few months ago, when we were passing the budget on the floor of Parliament, and in their press statements, they were charging the new administration as being responsible for the depreciation of the cedi. I rose to speak about why that could not be true because of the seasonal shocks that the cedi faces at the beginning of the year, first quarter as compared to every other year. And I also drew their attention that beyond the general expectation that the cocoa inflows and other forex inflows will come, we had clear policy priorities in the budget to address it. It is when we started implementing these policy priorities, the book building approach, the 2.3 billion that you've just seen us do, that you are now beginning to see the pressure on the cedi ease. It cannot be that all of these were from December. It cannot be. Let us be fair and honest and factual with the truth. Where this government has challenges, we are open to admit that we have challenges here. But where already you are beginning to see signals, I think it's important to acknowledge and all of us work together so that the benefits accrue to the people of Ghana. The
budget came and we believe that it plays some games with the people of Ghana, reducing spare part taxation, the levy on the headquarters that we call the KIA. Those were all political grandstand that will not yield much for the revenue that the government expects to work with. But we are happy that they want to complete the national identification this year.
Once they have them in their manifestos, we had hope in them that they will implement it. True to their word, since coming into power, a lot of the things that they have done, if implemented, will inure to the benefit of industry. Knowing that industry is the backbone of every thriving economy, the government, this government has actually been business friendly so far. Looking at the budget that the finance minister read, a lot of the nuisance taxes have been removed. When we say nuisance taxes, an industry paying about 14, 15 different types of taxes, how is he going to get some return on investment? It will just be zeroed in. So one may think that these taxes being reduced 2%, 3% is nothing. But you look at the quantum of it, you see that it's actually good. With regards to energy, everybody has seen that it has gone down a bit, and the government promises that it will still go down. Looking forward to it. And then with the protection of local industries, the president said that any goods that are produced in Ghana in large quantities, they will not allow the same goods to be imported from other countries.
We are hoping that maybe beyond the 100 days, they'll be able, so they've done well, but they've not done so much as far as the price of fuel is concerned. When it comes to employment, we have not seen anything at all as far as the employment is concerned. And they've not given us any clear indications that many people are going to be employed. Because in 2016, government spent 14 billion as a compensation for workers. And this year's budget, it is 16 billion. So one would have expected that additional 2 billion would be used to employ additional people. But the workers' compensation has gone up by 12.5%. So when you add the 12.5% to the 14 billion, you are around 15.6 billion. What is left is not significant enough to employ more people. And you know that government cannot make any payment outside the budget. So maybe June, when they come for the review of the budget, maybe they will add additional money. So if you just want to go by the budget that was just presented the early part of March, then they've not shown us clearly that they are going to employ many people.
I have heard a lot more talk about it in the campaigns than I'm hearing it now. Beside the Universal Merchant Bank that went to indicate that they were ready to support and to partner government in that project, I haven't heard much. But long before now, the rural industrialization project from the Ministry of Trade and Industry has been going on. So the district industrialization is not something new. It's been happening, but it's just they are naming and renaming. Like the way we had, it's like we had secondary education. We used to call it junior secondary school and senior secondary school. Then we had a government called the MPP government, and all they did was to rename it junior high and senior high. They have not changed anything. So just the name. The thing is there. You maybe, if you say that you are going to increase funding, but to make it look like you're now coming to do something anew, and to make it look like you are going to make sure that it is happening in every district. For me, I don't see it. Because if you are going to be partnering private sector, the private sector will go to some areas, they may not go to some areas. And if you listen to them during the campaign, it's more like they promise every constituency $1 million. Promise at least the northern regions, the 3 regions in the north, upper east, upper west, and northern region, that every village was going to have a dam. And then also promise every district will have a factory. Today we are being told that the 1 million that is supposed to go to the constituency, it's out of that 1 million, all these must be done. So for a particular district or constituency that decides to use their 1 million for dams, it means they won't get factory. Or if they decide to use it for factory, it means they won't get dam. If they decide to use it for other things that are very important for them, it means they won't get both the dams and then the factories. I think that this government, the deception is just too legendary.
With this one district, one factory system, the government is encouraging existing industries to branch off into the district levels. If you actually operate from the district level, you get a lot of incentives like tax cuts, tax holidays, and maybe 50% of corporate tax off, and all those things. And these ones will help industry grow. Apart from all these things, startup businesses, that is startup industries, have been given 1 year tax-free holiday. And if you have to plow back these taxes back into your business, It will just upscale your businesses, create more employment and more wealth. So in effect, well, for us industries, the budgets have just been read and have been passed into law. Once they have started implementing it, we hope something good will come out of them.
Within the first 100 days, illegal small-scale mining has become a major talking point. There appears to be a national chorus, loud enough to douse the destructive flames of Galamsey. But not everyone is happy about the government's expressed commitment to deal with Galamsey within the last 100 days.
Ghanaians are calling on us to clamp down on Galamsey. Some people are kicking against this. If there are 25 million people in Ghana, 24 million people want us to stop the practice.
24 million as against 1 million.
My brother, let me tell you one fact. This Galamsey thing, we can mark it on the wall. Today's date is what? I'm quite sure 4 years to come, you and I will talk about this again. We can't fix it. Because of the approach, we can't. We need to adopt a bipartisan approach to solving this problem. Do you know why? Because when NPP was in opposition, anytime NDC tried to fix this problem, the Galamseyers will always fall on NPP for support, and NPP will be there to support them. Because that's what we do. And then now NDC is in opposition, NPP is trying to fix it. The Galamseyers, they are so smart, they will call on NDC to come and help them, promising them a vote, a massive vote. So it becomes cyclical.
About 3 million people.
Yes. And look, if we truly want to fix it too, again, we should also think about job creation. We talk too much about job creation, but we are not doing anything about it.
In my personal opinion, they have tackled those areas that I felt that the previous government failed. For example, like we are saying, the small-scale mining and the illegal Galamsey and its effect on the environment. In fact, foreigners will not want to come to have tours if our water bodies are polluted. It's very simple as that. And if we do not attack that particular area, it means we don't even respect the earth itself that we actually live upon. And I think that is a very good one. I have had several calls all over the country, from Prisia, elsewhere, where people are calling me and telling me, oh, right now they've stopped, all the alluvial has stopped here. All the alluvial has stopped here. So yes, there is fear now. And people are actually voluntarily stopping illegal mining. So I think that in that particular sector, I think they've done well. The minister talked about using drones, and I support the use of drones because there is somebody who is responsible for that particular devastation.
We are in with them for fight against Galamsey. What they did not do when President Mohammed's administration engaged in the fight against Galamsey, and you saw them running around making all the noises that they could. The regional chairman of MPP in Ashanti region is the chief executive of Hansol Mines. What do? Hansol Mines give all kinds of equipment and the rest to people to go and mine in Galamsey and the rest. And so when this activity was going on and equipment were being seized and the rest, what noise didn't we hear then from them? But we will not do that, because we know when you engage in Galamsey, especially in water bodies, and you destroy the water bodies, you are destroying life. We cherish the lives of Ghanaians. And that is why we will support any initiative to deal with these Galamsey menace.
Look at the Galamsey. Our waters are being polluted. I come from a very small village. When I was young, we went to village, we never bothered to take water from the house to the farm. Any stream or even brook that was there, you could drink. Look at what is happening. The pra is no more, and cobra is no more, or fin is no more, even the volta, So these are the things we must begin to think about.
The Galamsey problem is hydra-headed. There are various stakeholders who ordinarily should be helping us fight Galamsey who themselves are involved. there are laws that should be protecting us that are being compromised, or perhaps may I say have become obsolete. There are conventions that have been developed around some of these laws that are making it possible for persons who don't even have their licenses ratified by Parliament fully operating as those licenses are operated. And that is why you will hear the president say that we need to come up with a comprehensive approach so that we don't repeat the same old thing of we come with an immediate brute approach as though today we are solving Galamsey and 6 weeks, 6 months down the line, it disappears into thin air. What he wants is a comprehensive approach that will stand the test of time. And so he has put together an interministerial committee, I think about 7 or 8 ministers or ministries, who are working to provide a comprehensive solution. Part of that solution being or starting from regulation, new regulation, through to law enforcement and sanctions for those who are engaged in. But in the interim, the lands minister has also issued a ban on the provision of new licenses. He has issued an ultimatum to those who are engaged in it to desist from it. Because listen, when you go down on the ground, there are a lot of interesting dynamics that you have to factor into your decision making before you tackle it once and for all. And the president has said that very shortly, the comprehensive plan for dealing with it will be outlined, and then we'll go full throttle. My hope and my prayer is that for all of us who are complaining about Galamsey, when eventually the government puts boots on the ground to deal with it, all of us will support the government.
During the elections, the NPP promised to redefine basic education to include senior high school, covering vocational, agricultural, technical schools, and make it available for free on a universal basis to all Ghanaians. Within these 100 days, the government has given some clarity on how it plans to fund and implement this program.
And your child is in the first year now, going to second year, or is in second year going to third year, it means you are not covered. Is that not the same progressive or even a worse form of progressive? What it means is that I see third year. If my daughter is going to enter Wesley Girls, she's going to enjoy free education. But somebody else on the street, a poor person whose child is in the first year going to second year, who may not afford, is not going to enjoy. So you have to either go and give birth again for that person to come, or wait for your next child before the person will benefit. And I thought that it's bad. It's a bad policy, the way they are implementing. But free education is something that is good. Education necessity. That's why even when we wrote the Constitution in 1992, it was vividly captured that even to the tertiary level, we must work to have it progressively free.
I think that in the last few days of the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government, there has been a very key commitment as far as his promise in the electioneering period is concerned, as far as education is concerned. I think that during the last electioneering period, education was a very key battleground, and the promise that the NPP government made to the Ghanaian people, especially in regard to the free SHS, I see that commitment to fulfill that promise, because you can see right from the beginning, during even the inaugural address, where he re-emphasized the commitment of his government to implementing that policy. And you can also see the same policy featuring very prominently in the budget that was recently delivered in Parliament. And of course, there have been some other platforms that the president has mounted over the period, where in each case he has consistently re-emphasized the commitment to delivering the free SHS. And I think that is very commendable. And we believe that come September, this academic year, the government will be able to implement that policy as it has been promised the Ghanaian people.
Personally, I think even though it's a bold initiative, bold vision, I think we should redefine it and let stakeholders know what their roles are. Other than that, we will start and we cannot sustain it, because as we speak, we don't even know the clear-cut costs, who will do what at any point in time. So basically, that's my view. And I think it is not a matter of argument that the moment you want to make a critique, you want to criticize the approach or the policy, all of a sudden you become anti-government, or when you say he can do it, we can do it, it means you are visionary or you belong to the government. I think they should engage experts. They should take public opinion constructively. Because I listened to the president at a point in time and I got more confused because I could hear that the president is targeting those who will be in Form 1. It's a social intervention. So why the rush to pick them up? President Kufuor introduced something that I think that we will look at it. We should look at it again and again. The President Mills and Mama's administration, where they wanted to, if you like, resource community schools. President Kufuor introduced is a model school concept. As we speak, if you are able to channel our resources in making schools come to a certain level, I'm sure it will be more beneficial.
Some persons who initially said free SHS was not doable, now all of a sudden want to define for us how free SHS should be executed. That, okay, the method we want to apply is, in their view, not good enough and deceptive. That cannot be the case. They made an argument, the people of Ghana listened to both arguments and voted for our argument. This year, the equivalent of about $100 million, 400 million Ghana cedis, has been made available in this budget for free senior high school, starting from those who are going to school in the first year at the senior high school level. Next year, they are going to do 4 terms. That is 3 terms for those who are now in Form 2, and then the first term for those who are coming. That will come to about 1.6 billion Ghana cedis. As the years go by, you will notice that the budgetary allocations for free SHS is growing as the numbers are growing. We are keeping these promises that we have made.
Free SHS that we are monitoring, we are hearing that what has been budgeted for the free SHS is not enough to fund SHS 1, SHS 2, SHS 3. And September is just around the corner. And we will let the people know what the expectations were when they were told that on the assumption of office of President Nana Akufo-Addo, there will be free SHS.
Nana has the goodwill of the people of Ghana. To be frank with you, he has the goodwill of the people of Ghana. He should use that goodwill profitably. Because Ghanaians are very discerning. They will carry you shoulder high. Where they drop you, you don't know. So he should be very, very, very good. The first year, the second year, he should not play with it at all. He should work hard. Because the third year, you'll be looking at the next elections. So we all wish him well. But the 100 days, I will give him above average.
What have they done in the 3 months? Vigilantism is on the rise. Galamsey is on the rise. What is it? You know, our government has become the history when it comes to the size. 110. It's a record. So I believe they have not found their feet in 100 days that we gave to them as a honeymoon. I think that the honeymoon has not been honey. Ghana is not working. There's lawlessness. Is Ghana working under the Delta Force and invisible forces? I think the answer is no. The international world is concerned about the rise of these gangs in our system. So merely saying Ghana will work again and it's not working, Ghana will work again and it's not working. When will we actually see Ghana work? We will see Ghana work when we don't have Delta Force, going to a circuit court and freeing accused persons and insulting and humiliating the judge. Well, so far there is nothing good that you can put your finger on, except to say Ghana will work again. I believe in Ghana. Ghana will work again. But where is Ghana working again to show? I'll be happy if you can point out to me one thing that has worked in the last 100 days so that I can retract what I've just said about the Akufo-Addo 100 days.
In the 100 days of the Nado's government, I'll give him 80% for these reasons. One, inflation has come down from 15.3% to 13.2%, which is significant. The they've abolished many taxes that they themselves call it nuisance taxes. Okay, and then those things have started to bear fruit. Just yesterday, the airfare from Kumasi to Accra was 320 Ghana cedis. As we speak today, it's a 365. It's as a result of the abolition of the 17.5 VAT. Okay, it was as a result of that. Okay, so it means that the measure that the government took in the budget have started to bear fruit.
In the first 100 days, by the policies, not the implementations, but the policies that His Excellency have put in place, I'll give him 80%.
These incidents, in my view, do not take away from the bigger picture of what has happened in Ghana in the last 100 days. We've had a successful election, a successful transfer of power largely, albeit for a few checkered incidents. And most importantly, in this first 100 days, the new government has been embarking on bold, significant measures that are aimed at turning the fortunes of this country around. That for me is the big picture that we cannot run away from.